The Bengal region, which includes the Republic of Bangladesh and the Indian state of West Bengal, has many architectural relics and monuments dating back thousands of years. Parlour Empire. The Parlour Empire was a Buddhist dynasty in control of Bengal from the 8th to the 12th century. Pallars created a distinctive form of Buddhist art known as the Parlour school of sculptural art. The gigantic structures of Vikramshila Vihar, Odanthpuri Vihar and Jagadal Vihar were masterpieces of the Pallars. These mammoth structures were destroyed by the forces of Bakhtiyar Khilji. The Somapura Mata Vihara, a creation of Dharmapala at Patharpur, Bangladesh, is the largest Buddhist vihara in the Indian subcontinent, and has been described as a pleasure to the eyes of the world. UNESCO made it a World Heritage Site in 1985. The Parlour architectural style was followed throughout Southeastern Asia and China, Japan, and Tibet. Bengal rightfully earned the name Mistress of the East. Dr. Stella Kramarish says, the art of Bihar and Bengal exercised a lasting influence on that of Nepal, Burma, Ceylon and Java. Demon and Vit Parlour were two celebrated Parlour sculptors. About Somapura Mata Vihara, Mr. J.C. French says with grief, for the research of the pyramids of Egypt we spent millions of dollars every year. But had we spent only 1% of that money for the excavation of Somapura Mata Vihara, who knows what extraordinary discoveries could have been made. Tomb architecture of Bengal. Tomb architecture is a type of building erected over the graves. The extant tombs in Bengal are small in number but show significant variety and interesting adaptation of the conventional Islamic form to regional tastes and requirements. As in other Muslim countries, hadith injunctions to practice taswiyat al-qabr, that is, to make the tomb level with the surrounding earth, did not prevent the raising of a grave above the ground level, erection of brick or stone cenotaphs, or the building of monumental mausoleums in Bengal. Architectural and epigraphic remains of the pre-Mughal and Mughal periods point to the burial places of three groups of people: conquerors and nobility, saints, and ghazis. The Arabic word Quban is used for a grave, the Bengali word samadhi for a tomb, and the Persian term Mazza is an honorific appellation for the tomb of a person of high rank. Tombs of saints and ghazis, when attached to dargah complexes, are called by the comprehensive term dargah. The Persian term astana for a holy tomb is not uncommon in Bengal. Funerary inscriptions contain such terms as Makbara, Turba, Qabr, Gumbad, Roza. Tombs in Bengal may be classified under two chronological periods: Sultanate of pre-Mughal and Mughal. Sultanate of pre-Mughal tombs. As in other Muslim buildings in Bengal, local Bengali tastes and techniques are more pronounced in pre-Mughal tombs, while preference for cosmopolitan Mughal style dominates Mughal funerary structures, notwithstanding the survival of a number of detached funerary epigraphs. A systematic study of the tomb architecture in Bengal based on historical sequence is made difficult because the majority of tombs in the present state are without inscriptions recording the name of the deceased or the date of the construction of the tomb. Local traditions are often relied upon to hypothesize the identity of a tomb, although internal evidence implicit in the technique and style of construction provides a stronger basis for establishing the authenticity of a burial place. Burial places in Bengal range from open-air funerary enclosures without architectural covering over the grave to monumental mausoleums. Graves of some of the important saints in Bengal: Shanjalal at Salet, Alol Haq and Enuar Kutbul Alam at Choti Dargah Pagdua, are in open enclosures and conform to the orthodox belief that only the pious deeds of the dead will offer him protection and shade. The grave of Baba Adam Shade at Rampal, Munshiganj, one of the earliest known Muslim saints in Bengal, was until recently without architectural covering. Among the tombs of the first Ghazis, the Mazza Madras complex at Tribeni, ascribed to Zafar Khan on the basis of two inscriptions dated 698 and 713, belongs to the category of open-air tombs. The tomb consists of two roofless square rooms raised on a stone plinth. This tomb is not only the earliest known Muslim monument in Bengal but also the earliest extant mausoleum in eastern India. The exquisitely carved black basalt sarcophagus at Moghra near the Panchpiyar Mazar has been ascribed to Ghiyasuddin Azam Shah. The ornament depicting lamps suspending from niches on the sides of the sarcophagus recalls lamp motifs in the mihrabs of the Adina mosque built by Ghiyasuddin's father Sikandar Shah in 776. Its funerary symbolism had already developed in the medieval tombs in Iran. Sikandar himself is believed to have been buried in a 9-domed square chamber adjoining the north bay of Adina Mosque's west exterior. The cover of the domed cubic monument is the oldest and commonest type of tomb in Bengal, as in other parts of the Muslim world. It existed in pre-Mughal and Mughal periods. The Qabr at Ahmadpur, Bihar Sharif, identified as the tomb of the first Turkish conqueror of Bengal, back to Khalji, is dated to a later period on stylistic grounds by Z.A. Desai. The earliest extant Qabr translated into regional Bengali form and also the first monumental tomb in Bengal is the Ekhlaki Mausoleum at Pandu. This is believed to be the burial place of Sultan Jalaluddin Muhammad, his queen, and his son, Shamsuddin Ahmad Shah. The brick tomb chamber, externally square with curved cornice, the octagonal corner towers, and an entrance on each side, is internally converted into an octagon by thick brickwork left hollow at four corners to accommodate four small cells. The dome rests on squinches, carried on embedded stone pillars, once profusely embellished. The surface ornamentation bears traces of floral painting on plaster in the interior and a variety of terracotta and glazed tiles on the exterior. The Ekhlaki style became a hallmark of Bengal architecture during the later Ilyas Shahi and Hussain Shahi periods and persisted in the early Mughal period. Two important tombs in the Ekhlaki tradition in Bangladesh are Khan Jahan's at Baghahat, dated 863 and Bad appears at Chittagong. These tombs resemble each other in many ways, though both are now shorn of their original surface embellishments as a protected monument. Khan Jahan's tomb is in a better state of preservation and retains many of its original features. To accommodate the dome on the square tomb chamber, the phase of transition in both the tombs is achieved by squinches resting on brackets. The most distinctive feature of Khan Jahan's tomb is its lavishly inscribed sarcophagus. The tomb of Shah Safi in the Dargah complex at Chota Pandu in its present state is Mughal remodeling of a pre-Mughal curved cornice Kaaba. The most important Mughal monument in the Ekhlaki tradition is the mausoleum of Bahram Sikar at Burdwan, who died during Akbar's reign in 970 At Monga, this tradition is echoed in the tomb of Shah Nafar, built in 903 by Alauddin Hussain Shah's son, Prince Daniel. No traces remain of Hussain Shah's black basalt sarcophagi, which survived until c. 1846 AD, or the tombs of later sultans at Banglakat at Goa. Mughal tombs. The extant Mughal tombs are larger in number than the Sultanate tombs and show greater variety of form by exploiting the parent style. They are built singly, often in the vicinity of mosques, or within a walled enclosure forming a small complex complex together with a mosque, or in larger complexes of religious and palatial buildings set within fortified gardens, e.g., the tombs of Bibi Pari in the Lalbagh Fort and Anwar Shahid. Octagonal tombs appear for the first time in Bengal during the Mughal period. The Kaaba assumed its conventional exterior having a straight cornice. A group of Kaaba-type tombs at Dhaka are ascribed to the female members of Nawab Shaista Khan's household are delightful examples of funerary structures. The Mughal tombs are usually raised on platforms but sometimes panelled with blind niches. In addition to its basic form as a domed cube, during the Mughal period the Kaaba assumed two further forms, constituted by attaching a veranda south of the square tomb chamber and an ambulatory consisting of a continuous veranda at chambers and passages round the tomb chamber. Representing the first type are two examples of note at Dhaka. The first tomb, believed to be of Khwaja Shah Basu on the evidence of the inscription on the adjacent mosque, built the mosque in 1089 is located at Ramna, Dhaka. The tomb and the mosque form a complex within a walled enclosure entered through a gateway on the southeast. The other tomb, ascribed to Dara Begum, is now without any grave. It has been incorporated as a prayer chamber of the Lalmasha Jami Mosque. The mihrab on the west wall of the original tomb chamber facilitated this conversion. The architectural scheme of the second type finds a prototype in the tomb of Itimad al-Dawla erected by Nur Jahan at Agra between c. 1622 to 28 AD. Compared to the simple Kaaba layout, its elaborate plan rendered this type exclusive. In Bengal there are four outstanding examples of this type. The tomb of Shah Ni'amatullah at Firozpur, Goa, ascribed to the patronage of Shah Shuja. The tomb of Bibi Pari at Lalbagh, Dhaka, the tomb of Bibi Mariam in Dhaka, and the tomb of Bakht Huma at Rajmahal, attributed to the patronage of Shaista Khan and dated to the late 17th century. The last example of this type in Bengal is the tomb at Khushbu, Murshidabad, where lie buried Alawadi Khan and Siraj-ud-Daulah with other members of the family. This type presents interesting variations in design. The tombs of Ni'amatullah and Bibi Mariam have verandas for ambulatories. Bibi Pari's and Bakht Huma's tombs have passages on sides and chambers on corners. Again, the tombs of Ni'amatullah, Bibi Pari and Bakht Huma have 3 arch openings, and that of Bibi Mariam has 5 arch openings on each of the 4 sides. In the context of the universal use of brick in Bengal architecture, Bibi Pari's tomb is unique for its extensive use of specially imported marble from Jaipur, black basalt from Goa, and grey sandstone from Chennai for the interior. The architectural adaptation of a simple Bengali hut with its doshla or shoshila roof became a significant tomb type in 17th century Bengal architecture. Like the Ekhlaki style, it was not confined to funerary buildings, but gained popularity in various forms of structures. A notable example is the tomb of Fath Khan at Goa, where a plastered brick structure, having a doshila roof over a single rectangular tomb chamber with entrances on the south and west, is built in the walled compound of the Kadam Rasul shrine. Another good example of the doshila type is the side chambers attached to the square tomb chamber of Anwar Shahid in Burdwan. The shoshila roof used in Mughal tombs in Bengal does not present the true Bengali shoshila form. It is what Danny calls a segmented square roof of the type used in Itimad al-Dawla tomb. One of the earliest examples of this type was the supposed tomb of Islam Khan Chishti, now reconstructed beyond recognition, in the Dhaka High Court compound. In Chittagong, the tomb next to the Bargai Hamza Mosque is a good example of this type. The Shoshila roofs in Ibrahim Danishmand's tomb complex at Moghreferra are interesting interpretations of a Sultani feature. Remains of a double-storied tomb at Arafil, Brahmanbaria, containing 2 graves in the basement and 2 corresponding cenotaphs in the upper story recall in a modest form the arrangement in Itimad al-Dawl's tomb. The remains of 2 octagonal tombs at Nauda and at Burhanpur in the pavilion-like look and surface treatment adhere to the model of the octagonal tomb set under Shah Jahan. Tombs of the Nawabs of Murshidabad during the 18th century reflect the predilections. The humble burial place of Murshid Quli Khan beneath the entrance portal of his Katra mosque consists of a small cell with a grave covered with clay, fulfilling his last wish that the dust of the worshipper's feet might fall upon his breast. Alavadi Khan wished to be buried in his much-loved garden, Khushbu. Mir Jafar lies buried at Jafarganj graveyard amidst 1,000 open-air graves. The veneration of the dead in Bengal and the creative genius of modern Bengali builders have yielded some outstanding examples of tomb architecture. In Bangladesh, the Tinneta Mazar in Dhaka marking the burial place of the 3 pre-liberation Bengali political leaders, A.K. Fazlul Huq Khan Nazimuddin and Hussein Shahid Suhrawardi, is an interpretation of the traditional Islamic architecture motif of arch. The tombs of poet Nazrul Islam and President Ziaur Rahman at Dhaka are notable examples of modern open-air tombs in Bangladesh. Terracotta temple architecture. Although there is plenty of evidence of human settlement in Bengal from prehistoric times, but there are regrettable dearth of archaeological evidence. This is because of the soil structure of Bengal, the community being spread on the alluvial plain of the mighty rivers of Ganges, Brahmaputra. The whole region is susceptible to flood and its resulting unsettling geographical pattern, the only somewhat undulated regions being the western Chota Nagpur and the Himalayan ridges of east and the north. This soil structure is reflected in the building material chosen by the Bengali temple designers, mainly the terracotta temples with elaborate surface decorations and lettering written in Nagari alphabets. The roof structure also has been the effect of the heavy rainfall that the Ganges River dealt when the Terai experiences throughout the monsoon. It has been curved effectively in most cases to get rid of the huge amount of water as soon as possible and thereby increasing the lifetime of the structure. The architectural evidence generally has been from the Gupta Empire period onwards. There has been recent discoveries of terracotta plaques from the times of Chandrakatugar and Mafastanga, throwing additional light on the architectural styles of Shunga and Gupta periods. Apart from the Pahlavi and Vamsana influence on the architectural style, it is also closely connected to the Banya style of temples from Mayabhanj, district of Orissa. But the temples of South Bengal is a distinction due to its roofing style so unique and closely related to the paddy-roofed traditional building style of rural Bengal. Bishnupur in the southern district Bankura of West Bengal has a remarkable set of such temples which, being built from the Malla dynasty, are examples of this style. Most of these temples are covered on the outer surface with terracotta reliefs which contains plenty of secular materials, making these important to reconstruct the social structure from these times. The temple structures contain gabled roofs which are colloquially called the chala. For example, a gabled roof with an 8-sided pyramid-structured roof with be called athchala, or literally the 8 faces of the roof, and frequently there is more than one tower in the temple building. These are built of laterite and brick, bringing them at the mercy of severe weather conditions of southern Bengal. Dakshin Swakali Temple is one example of the Banya style, while the additional small temples of Shiva along the river bank are example of southern Bengal roof style, though in much smaller dimension. common bungalow architectural styles. The origin of the bungalow has its roots in the historical province of Bengal. The term bungalow, meaning Bengali, and used elliptically for a house in the Bengal style. Such houses were traditionally small, only one story and detached, and had a wide veranda. Were adapted by the British, who used them as houses for colonial administrators in summer retreats in the Himalayas and in compounds outside Indian cities. The bungalow-style houses are still very popular in the rural Bengal. In the rural areas of Bangladesh, it is often called Bangla. The main construction material used in modern time is corrugated steel sheets. Previously they had been constructed from wood, bamboo and a kind of straw called kar. Kar was used in the roof of the bungalow house and kept the house cold during hot summer days. Another roofing material for bungalow houses has been red clay tiles.